Yet another vampire movie. But what happens when it's actually good? And what's good, my fellow film fiends? I go by Kevin Demos, aka the Film Fiend himself. And today we'll be getting into Day Shift. A hardworking blue-collar dad who just wants to provide a good life for his quick-witted 8-year-old daughter. His mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is a front for his real source of income, hunting and killing vampires. Yo, who would have thought in 2022 that we would actually have a good vampire film? Believe it or not, we got one here with Day Shift, and man, I really enjoyed Day Shift, man. Right from the jump, this film lets you know what you're in store for. You have Jamie Foxx's character who's doing the front of the pool cleaning job, and he's in this residence, and an absolute epic fight scene takes place. The fight choreography here was amazing. It was brutal. It was fast paced, intricate. I loved everything about it. And it sets precedence for what you're in store for the rest of the film, man. Oh my God. And throughout this fight alone, you see that the mythology of the vampires in this film are so different from any other that I personally seen from other vampire films. Like how they use light, garlic, all these different well-known tropes of the vampire community. Like it's a real thing, but you know what I mean. Like it's all different. Like there's this particular fight scene. It's just a little piece I'm gonna tell you about while he's fighting this vamp. And you know how they say a vampire, you can't see their reflection in the mirror. You see him fighting this vampire, then it cuts to the mirror, and all you see is him fighting an invisible being, and you just see the clothes moving around, man. Absolutely fantastic job. Like that. Like this film took the mythology of vampires and really did something unique and new to it. I loved it. But let's talk about Jamie Foxx's character, who's the lead of the film. He plays a character named Bud, and his story is pretty much that he'll do anything and everything for his family, and that little aspect, it really makes you root for this dude. He's very relatable. You like his character, and like you understand where he's coming from, and I like that attempt. Like in the scope of this being a huge genre, a vampire epic in a sense, you have this story of Jamie Foxx's character. All he's trying to do is make money for his family, for his kid, his wife, and stuff like that, so she could go to school. And that part of the film really adds a little bit of groundedness to this film, which it's not a grounded film at all whatsoever, but that aspect really adds a little bit, just enough to get me excited. It messes with your emotional side here and there. You, like I said, you feel for his character, extremely relatable. But let's talk about this cast. And I'm going to be upfront with you. I dismissed this film the minute I saw the trailer. I'm not going to lie. I saw Snoop Dogg pop in, and I'm like, yep, this is not for me. This is going to be one of these, throwaway Netflix films that they typically are. But I was wrong. Snoop Dogg's character, I think he plays Big J for John. He was spectacular, man. He honestly was spectacular. He owned that role. He played that cool, cowboy type of character. But I felt like Snoop Dogg and his charisma added so much to the role, and he was so badass as this OG character, man. And honestly, one of the standouts to me was Dave Franco, bro. I didn't know what to expect from him, because I've seen some of his films. I'm not that well versed into most of it, but I've seen a few. But I didn't know what he could add to this film, and he added a lot of comedy, but perfectly timed comedy, bro. His delivery, his timing was excellent, and it's not just like some knee slap jerk type of comedy. It was set in these serious situations when the mood is uber serious. I'm talking about like his life or death situations, but the way that he delivers the lines, oh my God, absolutely epic. The chemistry between him and Jamie Foxx was wonderful. It felt believable. It was a little bit predictable because it's the case of teaming up. You have to team up with somebody. He's a lone ranger, Jamie Foxx's character, and he's forced to team up with somebody he doesn't want to team up. And they butt heads in the beginning, and later on in the film they become good friends. Predictable, right? Well, what they did, they added a little twist into Dave Franco's character, which I'm not gonna spoil or say anything about it. Just look out for that. It really it really intrigued me. This film overall really intrigued me. But man, I gotta go back to this again. The action was so superb in here. Oh my goodness. There's this one particular action set. It's Jamie Foxx's character, Dave Franco, and these two brothers. One is Scott Adkins. I forgot the other dude's name. He plays Kevin from Shameless. But that sequence, it's just them in a home and a nest full of vampires, and they're all just going batshit crazy, killing these vamps off in all these unique, interesting ways. You have shotguns, you have axe, you have swords, you have just anything you could possibly think they're using to kill. That seems like it's about like 50 or so vampires. Oh my god, whoever was the fight choreographer here was spectacular. Now, in all seriousness, this film has some issues. It has some issues. As much as I'm gloating about it and about the first half of this film, there's this villain in here which is I found it interesting at first. You understand she's very pissed off at Bud's character because he does something in particular that really sets her off, and she's laser focused on getting back on him. I'm not gonna tell you what that is, and I found that aspect interesting. But when they finally meet up towards it's towards the later half, the third act of the film, it's like when you're getting there, this film takes a huge dip in quality for me. All the uniqueness of it and the originality of it goes out the window, and it became exactly what I feared. Your typical generic Netflix film, and it follows those tropes that you would expect. You have the wooden characters, terrible dialogue, predictability as far as the plot goes, and honestly they turned this villain extremely weak in one note, man. It was depressing to see because I thought they were heading to something amazing because the setup was pretty good and interesting as far as that goes, but they just lost their footing towards the end of the film, and it just became generic, man. It's exactly what I expected going in, but it didn't do too much to derail me. It took down the score a little bit, but overall, I had a fun time. This film was extremely entertaining to me, and that's why I gotta give Day Shift a 3 out of 5. After hundreds and hundreds of vampire movies and shows, Day Shift was still able to bring something unique, an excellent take on the vampire mythology. It loses its footing towards the third act and becomes a been there, done that, but still entertaining as a whole. And yeah, man, this film did its job. It entertained me for the most part of the movie. It kept it unique and intriguing as far as the first half goes. Yeah, it loses its footing a bit towards the end, but that's okay. It was an entertaining, fun time. And it's a Netflix film. I wasn't expecting much in it. Exceeded overall what I expected from a Netflix film. The cast was stellar. Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, Dave Franco, and I know I'm forgetting a few of them. They did their parts, man, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Day Shift, if you enjoyed Day Shift, and until next time, I'm Kevin Demos. I'm out. Thank you.